Battlefield Destruction is back and at higher fidelity than ever before. DICE has given us an official look at their new destruction system in the upcoming Battlefield, along with a blog post about their design goals. But there's also been a ton of new info coming from the playtest leaks, some of which has a few players concerned. Let's dive in. Now, the latest community update from DICE about Battlefield Labs focused on destruction. It included this clip, which showcases some very impressive destruction, as well as the game's general sound effects like footstep audio transitioning from outdoors to indoors. What stands out most about the clip is just the sheer amount of destruction a single RPG shot seems to cause. Basically, the entire face of the building gets turned into rubble. This, of course, is pre-alpha footage, marked with plenty of white box models still in the environment, so it's likely that the quantity of damage a single RPG can cause might get adjusted for launch. But they do clarify wanting players to have the ability to quickly destroy walls so that you can go inside a building, crafting your own route. Bringing back destruction as a meaningful tactical tool is core to their goal. Without this level of destruction, a player would have to run around the building or navigate through it using doorways and stairwells, which, is fine, but it's so much cooler being able to destroy your own way through. Now, digging deeper into their post and footage revealed a lot of very cool details. Destruction is more granular than it's ever been. Walls can be damaged from explosives and bullet impacts. They say you can literally shoot your way through a wall. It'll be very interesting to see how nuanced we can get with this. Creating murder holes in the sides of buildings can be a really effective and also a difficult tactic to fight against. Different surfaces will degrade in different ways as they take damage, and buildings will gradually reveal their core structure as the walls are knocked away. They also mentioned rubble persisting on the battlefield after destruction that could be used for cover or opening up new pathways. It's hard to know just how deep that system will go. Is the destruction fully server-side replicated with nuanced bits and pieces blowing off all over the place, like, say, the finals? Or is it more specific bits might remain, or pre-animated elements of destruction will persist? Based on the clip, it looks more like the pre-animated stuff, such as hills and ramps created by falling rubble. But it would be neat to see more dynamic stuff persist on the battlefield. Big chunks getting blown off in random directions, landing, and then staying there would be a very neat addition. Now, later on in the post, DICE mentioned some specific areas of feedback that they've gotten from playtesters. They say initially they had some server stability and performance issues, but subsequent sessions have gone much more smoothly thanks to the data that's been collected so far. Testers feel that the gunplay is in a good spot, but additional balancing is planned. Movement is one area that still seems like testers aren't quite happy with, and DICE are iterating on crouch sprint, combat rolling, vaulting, and other contextual movement actions. Circling back to destruction, they say that they're getting feedback about the balance of destruction and will continue to tune it to find the right balance for players. Now, to me, it seems like DICE are on the right track. Simply just getting server stability and performance running ahead of a launch using community members rather than internal testing is miles beyond what we've gotten in some of the previous Battlefield launches. The destruction system looks amazing. It seems like it's on track to be incredible. I wasn't expecting finals level destruction because I think that's nearly impossible to do at the scale that DICE has here without inventing some brand new tech to try and figure it out. Now, naturally, it's difficult to draw any sort of conclusions about the next Battlefield game due to the very early alpha nature. And I bring this up because some of the recent leaks released are concerning some fans of the franchise. Data mining have revealed named playable characters in the game files, and while this might sound something adjacent to, say, Specialist from 2042, it actually sounds much more similar to the skins from Battlefield 5. These were named characters that players could purchase in-game with their own money, and then they would have their own specific look to them. And according to data miners, these characters were able to use different cosmetics, are class and faction locked, and don't have unique abilities. It also appears you won't be locked into having to use any of them, and you'll still have your generic unnamed grunt soldiers that you could use instead. And I don't think it's really much of a surprise at this point that the next Battlefield game will likely have a battle pass and cosmetics and all of that kind of stuff. It's just anything that seems to resemble something that could look like Specialist from the past Battlefield game always puts up a red flag. So hopefully whatever DICE are doing is just more akin to a skin system and not looping in any sort of specialist features that players want to avoid. Now, the next bit of info from data miners, or at least what data miners are claiming, is that the next Battlefield game won't have a server browser outside of its Portal mode. They say they've checked every playtest build for references of a server browser, and there doesn't appear to be any for standard official servers. This is how 2042 works, and while a lot of people miss the old days of specifically being able to scroll through the available servers and pick exactly which one you want to play on, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense with their new approach to server-wide team balancing and servers getting disbanded between rounds. You'd basically have to find a new server after every match, which would be a lot of busy work, and DICE are focusing on their server balancing. That said, it seems like we're at least getting one for Portal, since those servers are going to be persistent and can have hopefully whatever kinds of rules server owners want to have. Now, the rest of the leaked info is pretty positive. Dozens of weapon icons have been leaked, showcasing most of the guns in the game use their real world names and that they all look very modern military. This is a nice return to form for DICE after 2042's mostly near futuristic sci-fi renaming and reimagining of current day weapons. DICE actually have a pretty impressive history of finding some of the coolest and most obscure guns used in whatever era of conflict, adding them to their game in pretty accurate manners. So it's great to see that that philosophy may be returning with the new game. Battlefield 1 in particular had several weapons that were at best functional prototypes during World War I, making that game one of the few ways that people could really sort of see how they operated in a more realistic setting. Data mining also seems to confirm some previously leaked info, like weapons having a set number of points that you can use to customize them and attachment cost points. It looks like we might also be getting weapon packages that will offer unique versions of selected guns. And our final bit of leaks cover a pair of screenshots, which I can't show due to getting my YouTube video flagged, but one shows a soldier moving crouched through a trench system, and the other shows some snowy mountains in the distance. It looks like these are our first look at some new maps for the next Battlefield game. We've seen leaked footage from a handful of maps already, but these stand out as new or at least unique from the previous leaks. So far, it looks like things are progressing nicely. The next Battlefield game is following a theater of war and focusing on features that I think a lot of the core community has wanted for a very long time. This early testing from Battlefield Labs will hopefully give DICE invaluable not only feedback, but just testing on performance and stability, things that a lot of the past games have lacked on launch day and had to clean up in the following months post-launch, which can have lasting effects on the overall perception of a game. If any title launches with problems, changing that narrative can take months, if not years afterwards, for players to come back around and test it out again, or even be willing to risk spending some money on. I'm definitely excited to see more about what Battlefield's base game offers, but I'm also equally curious about what their extra modes and Battlefield connected universe are going to be. Those are the biggest question marks in my mind still about the next title, and as soon as I get any info on that, I'll be sharing it here on this channel. If you guys enjoyed this overview video, don't forget to drop me a like, subscribe for more content like it, and up next, check out this video on Hell Let Loose's new Tobruk map, which is a cool World War II desert setting. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.